Hi guys, so we're on chapter 17, page 285, The Wizards of Once. Here we go before you're all going to run off and go out and play in the sunshine on a lovely sunny day. Queen Sycorax's Chamber of Magical Removal. The Chamber of Magic Removal had a very high ceiling and it was perfectly round. The only thing in it was a stone. The stone was a dark grey. It was just an ordinary but unbelievably large stone, rough around the edges like solidified lava. "Is that the stone that takes away magic?" asked Tsar in disbelief, for there didn't seem anything particularly scary about it. But the sprites and the animals were more sensitive to the strange atmosphere in the room, and they hissed like hornets in their anxiety, and the snowcats restlessly padded around the circular room, their hair all on end. Tsar reached into his breast pocket and took out squeeze juice, rigid as a dark green jewel, his breath like tiny green icicles rattling stiffly in his paralyzed body. His light was dying, and barely there, growing fainter and fainter, like his breathing. "Now, you have to put him on the stone," said Wish. "You should not do this, Tsar," hissed Ariel, holding up his skinny arms and spitting out a warning. "You have to listen to the stories of the fairies, stories from our ancient past. The fairy tales have wisdom in them." Mustard thought finished Ariel's sentence, and all the fairy tales say, "Do not touch the stone." "My father's father told me in a story never to touch the stones, said Tiffenstorm, and the other sprites echoed, "And mine, and mine, and mine, and mine, and mine." And the walls of the chamber echoed back the words that might have been the words of these sprites, or they could have been the ghost words of sprites who had been here once and faced the same choices in the past. "And mine, and mine, and mine, and mine." "These sprites are right," said Caliban nervously. "You do have to listen to the stories, for stories always mean something. The question that worries me is, what exactly do these stories mean?" Now, they were there in front of the stone, confronted with the reality of actually touching it. Tsar found he was terribly torn about what to do next. The voice of the once sprite was singing bright and pure as a nightingale somewhere in the darkness above them, of his regret at the loss of his magic, of how his wings that used to brush the very stars of on a windy winter's night were now paralyzed, and the yearning ache of that song reminded them all exactly how big a decision this was. Tsar always knew what to do, but for once in his life he wasn't sure. "What shall I do?" he said in an agony of indecision. Maybe Squeeze Juice would actually prefer to go to the dark side rather than give up his magic entirely. Perhaps he'd think it would be better to die if it will mean he cannot fly. "This is our only chance to give Squeeze Juice life," said Wish. "What if you put him on the stone for just a second or two to take away the witch blood magic, but take him off very quickly again to leave him with enough magic to fly with?" "Might that work?" Tsar asked Caliban. "Well, I can't guarantee it," said Caliban. "I've never come across witch blood before." "But if we have to be hopeful," said Wish, "we can't just let him die. We have to be hope that this will work and we can make something good happen even in this dark place." "Help me," said Tsar to Wish. "I can't do it on my own." The 5 sprites and the hairy fairies formed a glowing halo above Tsar and Wish's head, alarmed and suspicious. Ariel spitting out words of protection like, I don't even know how to pronounce this word, CVBXTOL and Jujurkal, and the spiky glowing letters quivered with fear and anxiety as they hovered in the air before melting away. Tsar and Wish took deep breaths and knelt by the stone, gently holding up Squeeze Juice, tipping him so that only the witch stain on his chest touched the surface of the rock. Tsar turned his face away, and then nothing. The poor little hairy fairy jerked a little and was still. "Do you think it's too late?" whispered Tsar, for Squeeze Juice's light had gone out entirely, and for 1 second he was like a stiff little piece of ivy lying there against the stone. And then, just when Tsar had thought he had lost him, a very faint twinkling of light flickered from Squeeze Juice's chest and grew brighter and brighter. The green slowly faded from the little sprite's legs, from his arms, and finally from his chest, so that when a sudden whoosh, he took to the air, and his eyes opened, and he feebly beat his wings. "He's alive!" breathed Wish in passionate relief as Squeeze Juice buzzed gently into the life. "Quick, take him off the stone," said Tsar. Wish and Tsar peeled Squeeze Juice off gently but firmly, and the little hairy fairy sat in Tsar's palm, blinking dazed as if awaking from a coma. "He's alive!" cried Tsar, punching the air as the little sprite breathed very, very quietly and whispered, "He's alive! He's alive! He's alive! He's alive!" smiled Tsar. "Do you think he can still fly?" "It's a little early to tell, Tsar," said Caliburn. "He's going to need some time to recover." Fairies are not like humans. The wild woods are so very dangerous. They would have died out years ago if they did not recover quickly from illness. Bravely, Squeeze Juice raised his head, unfurled his wings, shaking, and launched himself unsteadily into the air. "He can still fly!" cried Tsar. "I've made amends. It's all going to be fine." "You see, Caliburn, for all your gloomy what is done cannot be undone stuff, it's just like I said, nothing is impossible. And what was perfect timing? I'm so clever, oh, the brilliance of me. It was such a great idea of mine to leave him enough magic so that he could fly." "Quack, Tsar," said Bodkin. "Put your own hand on the stone now to get rid of the witch stain, and then we can leave this horrible place." Tsar sighed. "Come on, Tsar," urged Caliburn. "You know this is the second part of our mission, and you must have learned something from this night. All of these bad things have happened because you tried to get bad magic from a witch." I know, said Tsar, "but you have no idea how hard it is growing up in a world of magic when you have no magic in you at all, no magic of your own. It is difficult, but you have seen what the witch blood did to Squeeze Juice. That is bad magic you have in your hand, and bad magic will go wrong." Okay, sighed Tsar. "I'll do it." Miracles of miracles, it seemed that Tsar really had learned something over the previous 2 days. Tsar knelt down and put his hand with the witch stain on the stone. Well, that was a tongue twister. It was a bizarre feeling, but it didn't take long. There was an electric quivering sensation in his palm, and it stuck to the stone as if magnetically attracted to it. The next minute he could feel something being pulled out of him, and then the force went away, and when he lifted his hand off, there was no green stain any more. Tsar could not help sighing as he looked at it. For a moment he had been special, even if it was special in the wrong way. Now he was just ordinary plain old Tsar again, way too old for his magic not to have come in. Caliburn landed on his shoulder and said sympathetically, "You did the right thing, Tsar. I'm proud of you. That was the wise, grown-up thing to do. I know it's very difficult when you have to wait patiently for your own magic to come in, and not just leap in and try to fix things immediately." "Yes, I know, but it's so hard to do that," said Tsar sadly. "At least Squeeze Juice is cured," he said. "Ah, yes," whispered Squeeze Juice, peering sleepily over the edge of Tsar's pocket. "But why is we still all here in the dungeons?" "Good point," said Tsar. "Let's get out of here." Wish was kneeling right beside the stone in Tsar's way and tried not to panic. "Wish, I said come on." Wish did not answer him immediately. She swallowed. "I can't get my hands off the stone." Chapter 18. Do you know what? I'm going to be mean. I'm going to leave it there and make you go outside and play. Look at the sunshine. It's a glorious day. Off you go. Have fun today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.